hauntings.
Hello, I'm M. Gardner, and this is
C. Gardner.
And we are your ghost hosts with the most. We are here to introduce to you cryptid hauntings. Well, first by telling a little bit about ourselves. Chris, go ahead. Tell me something fun about yourself.
Well, I have a twin.
That's interesting. I have a twin too.
It's very interesting. I wonder who he is.
I bet you your twin is a nice guy.
But your twin's a nice guy.
He's kind of a dick, to be honest.
You can go fuck yourself.
So, we're here to... This podcast will dive into haunted mysteries each week, covering a haunting ghost story, ooh, and a cryptid story. Cryptids, for those who aren't familiar, are creatures like Bigfoot, the Fresno Nightcrawler, zombies, vampires, and so many more. I, M. Gardner, will be giving you the story, while my partner, Chris...
What am I doing?
Will be providing amazing commentary. So
Yes.
that we can further ado, let's get started.
The best commentary ever.
I thought it would be a good idea to start with our inaugural podcast with haunting from where we live here in Utah. And according to the Google machine, about an hour south of here, in an old abandoned mining town in Latuda, named Spring Canyon by...
It's by Halper and Price.
There are some... There's a beautiful woman who's been married to a miner, and she's now hunting down by Price. According to one story, her husband gets like a toothache or something, which is really stupid thing to die from, is a toothache. But he gets a toothache, and he dies, and she goes to make a claim on him and saying, hey, he's dead, I need money to live, and, I have this child. Give me money. And they kind of go, screw you, he didn't die in a mining accident. It was not our fault. He got the toothache of his own volition, and you don't get any money. So she gets kicked out of her house, which is owned by the company, and she and her child are starving. They're freezing and starving because winter's coming on. And eventually she goes crazy, and in order to protect her child from starvation, a horrible death, she drowns the baby and gets taken away to the local insane asylum, which would have been Provo at the time, Provo State Hospital. And she instead of getting better, absolutely snaps, and she decides that she's gonna escape to find her baby, who she thinks is still alive.
But she never finds the baby.
No, so she ends up down in Latuda and looking for her baby, never finds it, and dies a horrible death. She dies a horrible death, and her body is meant to just have been cast aside. So she's now haunting Spring Canyon. And yeah, she's haunting Spring Canyon. She lures people to their death by beckoning them into the mine caverns. You can see her outside the main office buildings of the mining office buildings in Latuda. So that's one story. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's interesting being out that way, just seeing all the old mining stuff and how it's all run down now. So I could see how people would see that creepy shit out there.
Okay, another story is her husband actually does die in a mining accident. But he wasn't supposed to be where he was at, and because of that, they deny her the rights that she's given as a miner's husband, as a miner's wife, and so driving away from the mine offices, the road is kind of steep on one side, and she's driving away angry and mad, and so her car falls off the road and she dies. And as an angry, vengeful spirit, she starts to, haunt the mining area. Although there are a lot of, to be fair, there are a lot of reports of her, and she's not angry and she's not mad, and so that's just some reports that she's an angry, mad, vengeful spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I could find on her was that, and there was another one where she died in a rock slide or something like that, and she haunts the town that way. It's just another death.
Just another death. I guess we should have started with, how do you feel about ghosts? Are they real? Are they not real?
Yeah.
Or
Ghosts are real.
Ghosts are real?
Ghosts are real.
How do you feel about cryptids? Are cryptids real?
Well, if ghosts are real, cryptids are
You
real.
think cryptids are... I think I'm a lot more skeptical. I think once you're dead, you go to heaven, you don't stick around here. And as far as cryptids, as much as I would love to meet a Bigfoot, there's just no real evidence for a Bigfoot or anything. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Well, you can believe whatever you want. That's why we're here, to persuade you one way or the other.
Hey, very first chance to email us at cryptidhauntings@gmail.com. Tell me what you believe. Do you believe cryptids are real, or if ghosts are real, and if so, why? If not, why not? So the next thing we have to discuss is cryptids. Now, this isn't a story of just one cryptid this week. This is a story of an area of cryptid hauntings. I don't know what you would call them, cryptid hauntings.
Yeah.
I don't know. So down in Roosevelt, I guess that's up in Roosevelt, Utah.
Yeah. This is a Skinwalker Ranch.
This is Skinwalker Ranch.
They've done a lot of stories on Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, it's supposed to be... Well, it's not as active as it used to be, but it supposedly was very active.
They just did a documentary on Skinwalker
Yeah,
Ranch.
I just watched it. That's where most of this information comes from. It's a... Acreage is 512 acreage. It's known as Skinwalker Ranch, and in 1994, the Sherman family, purchased it and expecting to live quietly and be left alone, lasting 2 years. They only lasted 2 years at the ranch. They had dozens of experiences, making the ranch now known as Skinwalker Ranch, one of the most haunted places in America. Terry Sherman was the cattle rancher. He and his wife and their teenage son and 10-year-old daughter sought the ranch and thought bought the ranch thinking that it had been abandoned for years. However, the previous owners had been living somewhere else, and so they had actually owned the ranch since the 30s. So it's kind of weird that you own this big 500-acre ranch and
no one's lived on it.
No one's lived on it for years.
Yeah, since the 30s.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's since the 30s, but...
Well, they probably lived on it for a little bit and then left.
And that could be because of the weird things that had been going on. Terry recalls an incident with his family and his calves where leading them while tending to their duties, they noticed something was in the distance. It was a wolf coming down towards them, but it wasn't an ordinary wolf. When it got into the family, it came to about Terry's chest, who was about 6 foot tall. So that's a tall wolf. So it comes to his house, and it's kind of docile. It doesn't really go for anyone. They say that they were able to pet the wolf, and it was
Just kind of hung out.
So, and then all of a sudden it snapped and it went for the cattle. So it attacked the cattle. The dad, Terry, took a .357 Magnum, which is an awesome defense gun. But he takes his defense gun, his .357, shoots the wolf all 6 times. Everyone in the family says, yeah, he hit this wolf. He hit this wolf several times. And it just is slowly dragging the cow off. And so he has his son go in and grab his 30-06. 30-06.
That's all been around.
I know. Grab his 30-06, big hunting rifle. It's huge. And he shoots, and they can see flesh being taken off of the wolf, but it drags. So he runs out of bullets. They go back in to get more bullets, put the kids away, make sure the kids are safe. And then they start tracking this wolf. And they can see drag marks. And the thing about the day that they remember most vividly is that it was muddy. So they were able to track the drag marks in the wolf paws, and all of a sudden, gone. Nothing. They just vanished. So a little history behind the ranch is the Utes, the original inhabitants of the land, the Paiute Indians. According to their folklore, the Skinwalker Ridge, which is on the north side, runs the north side of the ranch, was inhabited by skinwalkers in their days. So they kind of avoided the area. Skinwalkers are black magic wielders. They obtain their powers from murder and cannibalism. They are said to be fast and have great endurance. They are able to I can't remember.
They're able to curse people, invading their minds and making them go mad.
And remember the wolves that we were talking about? They are able to shapeshift into different shapes, mostly wolves. And bears and things like that.
So I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you guys watch Ghost, what is it? Ghost Hunters? No, the big one. So my mind. Anyways, they go to Skinwalker Ranch and they have a blessing put on them from the Utes to enter the property to be protected from the Skinwalkers. So I found that interesting.
I think it's interesting that as much as we have that left side of society today that is like, oh, well, you don't respect anyone. You don't respect the, Native Americans. You don't respect, this person. You don't respect this person. We still have people who, out of fear for their lives, will be like, yeah, you can bless me.
Just so I don't die.
We not only have skinwalkers been a big part about Uinta County, which is the county of Roosevelt is Uinta County. So have UFOs, and there have been sightings in UFOs in that county far before the Sherman family came, and it's actually one of the most active places in the U.S. For UFO sightings. Like, I didn't know that going on. I would have thought latitude 31, the 31st parallel. I thought that would have been one of the most, which it is, but apparently the Uinta Basin is like the place if you want to go see UFOs. The Shermans started reporting seeing objects in the skies, including triangular objects as well as portal-type things leading to other objects in the sky. For the most part, these objects and the aliens were harmless to the Shermans, even though in 1995, cattle did start disappearing and getting mutilated. Different parts of the ranch before the mutilations, the odd thing was they're not normal mutilations. It was more like a doctor had come and cut open the bodies, like done autopsies on them. They could see different orange before each mutilation, so before each time a cow was found, they had interactions with an orange UFO, like an orange glowing orb. The sign of trouble, the Shermans would see different UFOs, different glowing orbs preceding. The orange one was a lot of troubles, but they would also see blue and green and white and just different color orbs. One of the dogs chased the blue orbs. At one point, one of the dogs chased the blue orb, and the poor puppy did not come out of the encounter. Like, it chased the blue orb to where they couldn't see, and then when they went to go find the dog was dead. On June 29th, 1996, Terry took to the press and sought out the Deseret News, which was, if you know anything about Utah, Deseret News is like the news of the news. It's
a big news here.
Big news here. But he took to Deseret News with his findings, and that's basically how we start to learn about the things that happened at Skinwalker Ranch. Is Terry is like, hey, this is what's going on. You need to report on this. And the news going, yeah, we'll report on this. I couldn't find the original news article, but if I can find it, I'm setting up the Facebook page today and the Instagram page today. You'll
post it.
I'll post it on the Facebook and Instagram. So on September 5th, 1996, Terry sells the ranch to Robert Bigelow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being named Bigelow? Robert was the founder of NIDS, which is the National Institute of Discovery Science. There are also paranormal...
So they study through the science of paranormal.
Right. Robert, along with his crack team, I'm gonna get sued.
Watch what you don't want to get sued.
Along with his crack team at NIDS, they sought to investigate this paranormal happenings. Terry asked if he could be the ranch manager so he could get to the bottom of things going on. Robert agreed.
So he stayed on, even though he sold the ranch.
Yeah, so he stayed on. And this is kind of why I said crackhead, is because Robert is like, oh no, all of this stuff is happening. They're killing all of our cows. They're killing my dog.
Not Robert, Terry. And then
Terry. And then he goes, well, maybe I should stay on. I mean, that's a red flag in my book.
Maybe he was curious.
Maybe Terry was curious.
Yeah,
right.
You know what curiosity did, though? Killed the cat.
Well, killed the dog for sure.
Oh.
in March 1997, things started to get worse for NIDS. They started to see huge creatures with yellow glowing eyes that they sought out and shot again and again. Nothing happened to these creatures. None of these creatures were found except for their tracks and their claw marks, which were 6 inches apart.
So they didn't learn the first time with the wolf shooting at things don't work, even with big guns.
But it's big.
It did not work.
In 1997, I just read that one. In June, after years of doing research, the researchers saw a blue orb, the distance.
So they saw it out in the distance and it disappeared. They looked for it with a bright light and night vision goggles. Soon, one of the researchers with goggles saw a black craft in the woods. He quoted as saying, "It has me there watching us," and then nothing.
So NIDS investigation lasted from 96 to 2002. In 99, they reported as very little happening on the ranch worth note, and all of their findings, and this is another big red flag, all of their findings have been kept secret by Robert Bigelow. Although the neighbors, and then again, another big red flag, also when the neighbors were asked, they did not believe Terry's claims of things happening in the ranch.
There's a TV show, we discussed this already, the Secrets of the Skinwalker Ranch on the History Channel, of people who are very, honestly, in my opinion, trying to research what is going on at Skinwalker Ranch. So yeah, they are trying to...
But see, that's part of the problem, is they're taking it from an honest scientific point of view, and they're still not finding anything. So they find a couple weird things happen, but I think weird things happen no matter what, but they're not finding anything.
So to give you an example, we were outside, we've been to the Uintas, we were at Kings Peak. I didn't see shit when we were up there. Because it's in the Uintas, it's the same area as this.
Yeah, I didn't see, I passed out halfway through that journey. Yeah, maybe it was the alien.
No, you're dehydrated.
Oh, yeah.
We've been to Roosevelt. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
We've been there, and I've never seen anything out there. Nothing.
And see, that could be because we weren't really looking for anything.
Well, I didn't know about all this stuff, too, but...
Let me look up we were young, right?
What are you looking up?
The name of a phenomenon that happens.
I don't understand what you mean.
You know what a phenomenon is? So it's basically, that cryptids happen.
Yeah.
And you take it home with you. So most people, and it's something that happens with this ranch. You take it home with you. So basically, that you're going through this cryptid. I'm not finding what the phenomenon is, but basically, hey, cryptids happen in this area, and so you may not have an experience of aliens or something in that area, but when you get home, and that's when most people have that phenomenon happen to them, is when they get home, they have that experience.
Okay.
So it could be that we weren't looking for the experience, that we weren't there yes, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and because we had that kind of presence of wishing it into being, it never happened for us, and even furthermore, it didn't happen when we got home. But
now, Bigelow sold the ranch in 2016.
He did.
to a guy named Brandon Fugel, and he still does research on the
And
property.
he's the one that allowed the Discovery Channel to
come
and film on the ranch.
Yep, and that ghost show, I can't remember now. I want to say Ghost Hunters, but that's wrong. And I wanted to say Ghost Facers.
Ghost shows that film.
It is not Ghost Hunters. It's Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures.
Yep. They did one on there. They allowed them to go on.
Well, that's good. I think we should be honest with people, and it shouldn't be like what Bigelow did. I don't think what Bigelow did was honest. I think I have issues with bigger organizations doing the same thing. They're, in order to keep people curious or to keep people scared or to keep people something, they have this idea that we don't want to tell you the truth. Because if we tell you the truth, either you're going to find out that we're full of shit.
Nanas?
Yeah, we're full of shit, or and lose interest in, this is the only way we can keep interest. Or you're going to find out, hey, there's actually something to this, and people are going to do what people do and get more curious.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a way to control us, and I think that's dishonest, and I think they should just be honest with us.
I agree. Well, if you have any more ghost stories or anything, please email us at
cryptidhauntings@gmail.com. That's CRYPTIDHAUNTINGS@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you and any feedback you have for us.
Yeah, tell us how we did. Tell us, this is our first episode, and we're happy to hear how we did, and if there's any stories you want to hear, if there's any stories you want us to tell that you've experienced, if you want to tell me that I'm full of shit and, don't know what I'm talking about.
Or just tell us to get offline and not do this again. I mean, we won't listen, but we'll take some of your advice.
And I will end with a sincere thank you. Thank you for listening. What if your greatest wish became your greatest danger? Lafayette L. Chapman always knew he was different. Born with white hairs, unsettling blue eyes, and a mind sharper than most. L was bullied and misunderstood. More than anything, he longed for escape. One stormy afternoon, a mysterious man in an opalescent green suit appeared in his home, and Al's life was changed forever. Angels are real, so are vampires and nightmares, shadowy creatures who eat flesh and forge blades from blood. As Al enters a new world of secrets and danger, he must uncover the truth about who he is and what he has become, and what has become of his soul, which he never knew he lost. Hi, I'm Pam Gardner, the author of The Epic of El, a young adult fantasy story coming out this spring of 2026. Follow me on Instagram at Making It With Mikey, that's MakenWithMikey, or email me at m.gardnerbooks@gmail.com for any questions you might have. And as always, feel free to email the show at cryptidhauntings@gmail.com.